Your bank just got caught. Not hacked, not robbed, caught, deliberately paying you less interest than they owed you, while a better account with the same name existed the whole time. Capital One, one of the biggest banks in America, they had two savings accounts, almost identical names, but one paid 14 times more interest than the other. And for 6 years, they never told millions of customers which one they actually had. A federal judge just approved a $425 million settlement. That money may already be on its way to you, but there's a lot more to this story than the check you're about to receive. It started back in 2013. Capital One launched a savings account called the 360 Savings. They marketed it hard. It was supposed to be one of the better high-yield options out there. Millions of Americans signed up, trusted it, and left their money sitting in it. Then, in September 2019, quietly, without any real fanfare, Capital One launched something new. A second savings account called the 360 Performance Savings. Same bank, same logo, almost identical name. But here's where it gets interesting. The new account was paying 4.35% interest. The old one? 0.30%. That's not a rounding error. That's not a minor gap. That's 14 times less money in your pocket for keeping the same dollars in the same bank. And Capital One never switched existing customers over. They never sent a clear email saying, "Hey, we launched something better and you're not on it." They just quietly let millions of people keep sitting in the slower lane, earning almost nothing while the better product existed the whole time. If you had $50,000 in that 360 savings account, the difference over 1 year alone was over $2,000. Multiply that by 6 years and millions of customers, and you start to understand how $425 million adds up. Eventually, someone noticed. A class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of everyone who held a 360 savings account between September 18, 2019 and June 16, 2025. Millions of people became plaintiffs. The case landed in front of Judge David Novak in the Eastern District of Virginia. And the first time Capital One came to the table with a deal, Judge Novak said no. He rejected it. He called it unfair to customers and said the bank was still deceiving depositors. Think about that. A sitting federal judge had to tell one of the 10 biggest banks in America to go back and try harder. So, Capital One went back. They renegotiated. And this time, the entire $425 million, every dollar, goes directly to affected customers, not split between legal fees and vague future promises. All of it, straight to the people who were shortchanged. On April 23, 2026, Judge Novak gave the revised deal his final approval. So, here's what you actually need to know. If you held a Capital One 360 savings account at any point between September 18, 2019 and June 16, 2025, you are eligible. Current customers, former customers, both qualify. You do not need to file a claim. You do not need to call anyone or fill out any forms. Capital One is required by the settlement to find you and send the money automatically. If your payout is $5 or more, a check goes to your last known address. If you opted in for electronic payment before March 30th, it's a direct deposit instead. Payments are currently scheduled to go out around July 21st, 2026. How much you get depends on your account balance and how long you've held it. Bigger balances and longer hold periods mean bigger payouts because the math is based on the interest you were actually owed. The settlement also includes something that matters beyond the money. Capital One is now legally required to pay the same interest rate on both accounts going forward. The two-tier system, where loyal customers got the worst rate, is officially over. But here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. This wasn't an accident. Capital One has hundreds of data scientists and pricing analysts. They track every dollar, every interest rate movement, every customer behavior pattern in real time. And when they designed two accounts with almost the same name but very different rates and didn't clearly communicate that to existing customers, that was a deliberate business decision. Every month you sat in the lower rate account, the bank kept the spread. The money didn't disappear. It just stayed on their side of the ledger instead of yours, and they had to be taken to federal court to give it back. Attorney General Letitia James said it clearly. New York families work hard to save money for their futures, and they deserve every dollar of interest they were promised. That's the point. These weren't high rollers or sophisticated investors. These were regular people who trusted their bank was giving them a fair deal. And the bank counted on most of them never noticing the difference. So, what's the takeaway here? Banks are businesses. Their job is to maximize their profit. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to count on your inertia. The fact that most people open an account, set up a direct deposit, and never look at it again. Right now, go check your savings account interest rate. Whatever it is, compare it to what the best high-yield accounts are offering today. If there's a significant gap, that gap is costing you real money every single month. Capital One got caught. They paid $425 million, but they're not the only bank with a product lineup designed to keep certain customers in the slow lane. The question is whether you're in it. If this opened your eyes, subscribe. Every week, Wealth Mysteries pulls back the curtain on how money actually works. And drop a comment. Did you have a Capital One 360 savings account? I want to hear your story. Unveiling the secrets of money.